We keep telling this government to stop playing with young people.
Kama si kelele yako, ikesi Albert ingelengwa. Someone tell those killers that as long as I exist, this will be the last case file being thrown under the rug. Woe unto you for thinking that we'd let this slide. To my fellow patriots, it's high time we stop sitting and thinking that police brutality will end. Ndio maana leo tunasema enough is enough. Usisahau kubeba flag, handkerchief na maji na ukairada ya warazi.
Swali. Nikilalamika ati mtu ananiharibia jina, alafu mtu apatikane amekufa. Mshukio wa kwanza atakuwa nani? Si ni mimi. Nimeona Senate wakiongelea kifo cha Albert Central. Wanasema IPOA ati CCTV kwa ofisi ya OCS was interfered with. So kuna mtu alizima. Albert alibukiwa 9:30 PM wakishamtoa huko Homa Bay. Asubuhi wanasema walimpata unconscious. Pia wamebadilisha story. Initially walikuwa wamesema aligonga kichwa yake. So kama walizima CCTV wakamwacha peke yake, inakaa kama premeditated murder, right? Mbona officers wa serious crimes wa DCI wana deal na defamation na wase social media? Mimi nishaisuiwa mara mob nikifanya NTV na KTN juu ya defamation. Sijashikwa, sijapeleka koti. Unatuma lawyer, labda kuna fine hivyo.
Do you remember the Githurai massacre last year, June 25th? Yeah, that guy mwenye alipeana hizo orders that polisi waende huko and they kill people near Eliud Lagat. It's Eliud Lagat. And then after amefanya such a good job for Ruto, he was promoted. He was promoted to now the Deputy Inspector General. Na vile watu wanasema mtandaoni, alikuwa sasa akue tena promoted to Inspector General ahead of the 2027 elections. You want to tell me that is a president who has the best interest at heart of this country? Mwenye aliswear to protect the lives of Kenyans. Like, alishika Bible hivi, akaswear to protect the lives of Kenyans. And then he promoted someone. This guy, mwenye aliua Rex Masai, he's still in the service. Bado tax zetu zinamlipa. And you want to tell me we can get justice through these rogue police officers? This IPOA, you want to tell me IPOA, they're still investigating who killed Rex Masai? They're still investigating watu wenye waliingia parliament vile waliuliwa and where they are. You know, kama mtu amekuonyesha who they are, you don't need to ask them who they are. Ruto has already shown us who he is by the people he associates with and the people he promotes. Sasa sahi wanataka kusema Eliud Lagat anakuwa targeted by who? Alikuwa hapo kwa crime. He was there. Kwa sababu si nini inasema hivyo? Evidence inasema hivyo. He was there. And then hata kama hakuwa there, wewe kama DIG, you know the constitution that haufai kushika mtu. Polisi hafai kukuja kunishika juu ya vitu nafanya TikTok. Anafaa niletee nini, anafaa anisu. If nasema false publications, then they should sue me, not kuita polisi wakuje wa break my skull and mpaka spine yangu ikuwe na blood. Guys, we must get justice for this one. We must get justice. Odhiambo alienda hivyo, Otieno alienda hivyo. Now there is another one, Ojwang. And you know what? The politicians don't care. To them, someone is being targeted by whom? Who is targeting Eliud? Ni alikuwa amecomplain, ni alikuwa hapo. And then baba Ojwang alishatuambia that vile Albert aliendewa nyumbani, au ma police officers au DCI walisema umetusi mdosi wetu. So ni alikuwa amewatuma. So IPOA, we are not buying into whatever you... First of all, mkatuambia alicommit suicide. And then after sasa postmortem tulisimama hapo hadi postmortem ikafanywa. Now mmekuja mkasema we are sorry, we don't have CCTV footage sasa. This country can't be run by criminals who are supposed to be protecting us. So anyway, justice to Albert Ojwang and justice to Albert Ojwang. Now mapolisi wajue na hii government ijue we in a different era. Hakuna vile mtatubeba ujinga ati someone committed suicide by hitting his head. Mpaka amefura huku macho. And then now here you are, we don't have a CCTV footage after tumeshaona he was killed. Give us a break.
My people, this is the highest level of impunity. 3 motorbikes, each with 2 cops, ride all the way to Mzee Ojwang's home, identify themselves as police officers, take photos of the home, pick the young man as he's doing lunch with his parents, take him to Homa Bay police station, book him, but decide to bring him all the way to Nairobi Central police station, torture the young man along the way. And when you bring him to Central, he's so injured until the police boss of Central police station says, this one is too injured, take him to the hospital. But the DCI insists on the Central police station to take him in. Send killers at night until the people in the neighboring cell rooms had noise. Kill the young man with blunt objects on the head and strangling his neck. But you did not remove his body from the police cell. You could have even taken the body and thrown in Nairobi River. You could have even poured acid on the body. But you left your evidence all over the place. Take the body to city mortuary of a guy you picked from his parents' home. This is the highest level of being drunk with power. If you want to see impunity, this is it. You left evidence all over. You don't care. You don't give a shit. This is how bad this country has gone, my friends. This administration, this one, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. These guys are so drunk with power. They've looted so much money. They've lost their consciences. They are walking. Okay, animals is a good word. These are devils walking on the streets. This police force, this Kenya Kwanza administration. Now, this is what we call impunity. This is what we call being drunk with power, my friends.
Wajamaa, mimi nakwambia Wakenya ni wajaste watu sana. Kukiwa noma, wanakujaga wanashikana, wanasahau kabila, wanasahau anything, wanakama wanasimama na msee kama msee yako kwa noma. Wewe sajua ingori ya Albert Ojwang venye tokelezea. Wajaste wameamua kusoma na buda ya Albert Ojwang. Namba ya simu ya mzae ilileak tu ikaingia hapa kwa mtandao. Sasa hivi tunabanja. Wajaste wametuma ganji, wametumia mzae ganji mpaka imefika mali yenyewe M-Pesa haiwezi ka accept pesa ingine wejua. Mimi nakwambia Wakenya wamema come through jo. Mimi nakwambia ni bulanda wajaste. Mimi nakwambia wejua. Mimi nakwambia hata mali Albert yako mujaste manze wasao wameshikilia buda yake wejua. Mimi nakwambia ni bulanda. Wakenya wakiamua tu kushikana wajaste au wanafanyanga vitu great. Mimi nakwambia ni bulanda. Bulanda jo.
Ndugu zangu Waluo, nafikiri mmeona support yenye wa Kenya, Kenyans from all corners of this country wanaonyesha baba ya Ojwang. Nafikiri mnaona hiyo support. Wakenya kutoka kabila zote hawataki kujua kama Ojwang alikuwa ni Mjaluo. Wakenya wote wameungana sahi kuonyesha hiyo familia support. Hawakutaka kujua nyinyi mnashindaga hapa kwa mtandao mkituya pia mambo ya 10 bila brain. Hapana. Wamejumuika na Wakenya wengine wote kwa sababu huu msiba tungeachiwa sisi Wajaluo peke yake tusingeweza. Number 1 sisi Wajaluo tupendani. Hatutakangi kuona progress ya mtu mwingine. Kabila zingine kutoka kwa kabila zingine wamekuja kutuonyesha the importance of unity. Na ameona hiyo support yenye imeenda kwa hiyo familia. Immense support, big support. Big support. Hiyo ndio unity tunataka in 2027 kupeleka Ruto nyumbani. Hiyo ndio support tunataka kama Wakenya in 2027. Wakenya sasa wanatuonyesha sisi Luos what unity can do. Nishasema huu msiba tungeachiwa si Luos peke yake tusingeweza. Lakini angalieni hiyo support yenye Wakenya. Kelele inatoka kila kona. Pressure kwa government. Kutoka kabila zote hii nchi. Baby limewekwa, namba ya babake huyu mtoto imewekwa, namba ya mamake, namba ya bibi yake imetumwa mpaka M-Pesa imejaa. Tungeachiwa si Waluo peke yake, I'm sure tusingeweza. Hiyo ndio support tunataka in 2027. Kabila zote as Luos included, tupeleke Ruto nyumbani na watu wake. Tuwapeleke nyumbani. Kama Deputy Inspector General of Police anaweza fanya what imefanyika. Je, angekuwa yeye ndio Inspector General of Police? Je, angekuwa second term ya Ruto will be worse, my friend. So we want this support. Kabila zingine natuonyesha sisi Waluo kupeleka Ruto nyumbani. Otherwise Don't be the community yenye itafail wa Kenya. My brother the Luos, don't be the community yenye itafail Kenyans. Let us be on the right side of history, because we are going to write history in 2027. Tusiachwe nyuma kwa sababu ya mambo ya 10 bila brain, hate yenye haifai, tusiachwe nyuma. Mimi nimeenda.
My people, I have been looking for the expose that Albert Ojwang did on Twitter. I have not gotten it. I'm sure no one has gotten it. But if you listen to the Senate hearings today, IG Kanja explaining the post that Albert Ojwang did. Allegedly, he did a post about how Eliud Lagat has placed his most trusted cops in the conduits of money in the police force, where money comes in and they collect millions and millions of money, and all that money is handed over to Eliud Lagat. That's the post that Albert Ojwang did. Okay? So our hero here, Ojwang, died fighting corruption. Let that sink in. He died fighting corruption, my people. This young man was doing a post on corruption in the police force. That's why he died. This is our hero. We have to fight for justice for Ojwang. Eliud Lagat must resign and must be held responsible. This nonsense of junior cops, the one who picked Ojwang from Homa Bay, who tortured him, no, they have the person who sent them. We need justice done. The young man has died because of fighting corruption, my people. Fighting corruption.
That session at the Senate today was meant to confuse us and give us a different narrative. It was meant to manage public anger. Because number one, IG Kanja and DCI Amin under oath told us that Albert Ojwang was well and healthy when he was being taken to Central Police Station. But on the other side, the OCS, Samson Talam, and his officers recorded a statement at IPOA saying that indeed Albert Ojwang was not well and they had to rush him to Mbagathi Hospital. So whom do we believe? That's number one. Number two, DCI Amin under oath told us that the prime suspect in the murder is OCS Talam. But OCS Talam was not in the station when Albert Ojwang was being taken there. He had to be called, and when he came, they had to rush him to Mbagathi. So how can he be the prime suspect when he was not there? And if indeed he's the prime suspect, what motive did he have? What motivation? What was the relationship between Talam and Ojwang? Nothing. And then there's this other issue of CCTV being disconnected. And then we were also told that a call was made by Ojwang to the family at 9:24 p.m. But Safaricom has not given us the recordings. Now, we were also told that DCI contacted Communications Authority of Kenya to give them details of the bloggers who had posted things about the DIG. But this evening, the Communications Authority of Kenya have refuted those claims and have said that they were not involved in any case. Safaricom have also said that they were not involved. So where did DCI get the data on the bloggers? And the complainant has also refused to step aside to allow investigations to take place. Because justice must not only be done, it must also be seen to be done. And that can only happen if the DIG has stepped aside. And if he is proven not guilty, then he will have his job back. So all this points to the direction of cover-up. Somebody's covering up something. The big boys are trying to pin the murder on the small boys. And the big boys are willing to use the Senate and other media stations to make it happen. But it must not happen. Justice must be done. And the real culprit must be caught. And if Senate is serious about getting to the bottom of the matter, then they must call the OCS Talam, his officers. They must call the DCI officers who transported Ojwang from Homa Bay to Nairobi, so that they can give their side of the story.
No, we do not accept your apology. You are the one who stood there and in front of microphones and in front of the national public, told people alijigonga kichwa na hivyo ndo nimeambiwa. You can't think for yourself. Is that what you're trying to tell us as Kenyans? If you cannot think for yourself, you should not be in that position. Kipchumba Murkomen comes here and says how, oh, there has to be due process. Stop right there. Was there due process for Albert? No. Was there due process for 159 people who were abducted and killed? Extrajudicial killings. And this is a report that has come out. Safaricom, you're also part of this, thanks to Muturi.
That Safaricom is complicit and indeed a facilitator in the tracing and abduction of Kenyans who have either ended up dead or maimed in the hands of police like Albert Ojwang.
Thank you for reminding me how much I hate Safaricom with every fiber of my being. The last time I wore this was last year, June as well, when we were fighting for our rights as the people of Kenya, fighting this government for the stupidity. And we will continue fighting. If it means us going to the streets, we will go. Because no, we do not accept this nonsense.
To you who's watching, your silence makes you complicit. We all know the killing of Albert was not only an accident or a tragedy, but an act of injustice. This is our turn to speak, not for political gain, but for justice. Losing a brother, son, friend, or even citizen in that brutal manner is unfortunate. You cannot even fathom what his family is going through. At this point, imekuwa too much. Too many young Kenyans have died at the hands of those who swore by the book to protect them. Hiyo ni kusema nini? The Constitution guarantees the right to life, dignity, and due process. Albert was a Kenyan citizen, but he was denied every single one of them. No position of power can justify murder. You can only see that happening in a failed state. Tukiacha hii story slide, ni kama kujipiga kibari kwa face, because as long as you're Kenyan, hata uende wapi, no amount of money can escape bad governance. I'm certain Albert will not rest till he gets the justice he deserves.
You don't see, you don't know. C.S. Murkomen, please, for the respect of this young man, you are yet to grow a child up to the age of 31. Can you immediately resign? You are not fit to be in that docket. Please, I beg you, it is not personal. And if you think I'm joking, you are a well-read man. You know that in 2011, in Tunisia, a street hawker by the name of Mohamed Baouzi was killed. And people came into the streets, and the government of President Ben Ali was overthrown. You truly don't know what you're playing with. Please resign. You cannot be an inspiration to be in cabinet.
The bar was so low that Kenyan voters elected ICC suspects twice. And for some reason, we thought that whatever they were accused of, they wouldn't do it to their own countries. Tafakari ya baba.
Today's world no longer allows the private sector to remain on the sideline. Silence is not neutrality. It simply means you're complicit to when injustices happen to the society and you remain quiet. So as a brand, as an influencer, as a business, when you keep your mouth shut, when injustices is happening around you, you risk losing the same trust you rely on from your clients when you need it the most. Justice for Alfred Ojwang.
Oh no, the fire was so low that we elected hyenas in sheep's skin. Hyenas have gone there and decided to back us up. A government that is so much worried about what the citizens are boasting, rather than what the citizens need.
Do we have a dictator in town, and what does it? Why are Kenyans really embracing that?
Well, they are waiting for the next election. I can tell you, if Ruto gets more than 3 million votes, he will be lucky. Even the Kalenjins that he thinks they are going to vote for him blindly. The young people from that community are not going to vote for him. So I'm telling you for free.
So the crowds from Narok during his tour of the region, that could have been part of paid up crowds.
You saw the crowd even in central Kenya, where each person was being paid 1,000 shillings, and some of them they were being paid 5,000. and the border guys, they were being paid to carry 2 people, and he himself is paid not only to carry but to attend the rally.
Wacheni tu mimi niseme na mapema. Ndio kama kuna list na andiko mniweke kwa list. I can't wait to reject Finance Bill 2025. I can't wait because I know it will be something absurd. It will be something mental. I can't wait. Mniweke kwa list jameni. List reject.
And don't buy into the political rhetoric of trying to divide you into tribes.
Yes.
Our problems are not tribal. There's no Kikuyu problem, there's no Kalenjin problem, there's no Luo problem, there's no Somali problem. There's no Kamba problem.
Yes.
Shift share knows no tribe. The university funding model knows no tribe.
Yeah.
Joblessness knows no tribe. All these problems that we point out,
yeah,
they do not know any tribe.
Luchivia, labda hujui ni nani utapigia kura in 2027.
Yes.
Lakini ile kitu muhimu zaidi ni kwamba ujue yule mwenye hautapigia kura.
Yes.
Are we together? You may not know who you will vote for in 2027.
Yes.
But it is important to know who you will not vote for in 2027.
The best way for Kenyans to vote in 2027 is 2 ways. 1, don't vote for anybody who did not deliver when it came to their manifesto. Number 2, do not vote for anybody who had any previous corruption cases. For example, when it comes to Sakaja, the current Nairobi governor wants to run for a 2nd term. Now, I will be damned if I vote for Sakaja considering just one part of the manifesto, which is roads. He said that he will fix roads and he will fix drainage and water will be distributed to different parts of Nairobi. He said this and he has not delivered. Nairobi to go 2025, we are almost at the half of the year and the roads are flooding insanely even if it rains just a little bit. So what logic would someone be using if they vote for Sakaja for the 2nd time? What logic would somebody be using if they vote for Pasaris, who is definitely probably going to run again for Nairobi women rep, and she has not been proactive in talking about like femicide cases and protecting women, which is her job in parliament. If we just focus on those 2 things, not voting for anybody who had any corruption case and not voting for anybody who has messed up their manifesto, I feel like Kenyans will be really, really far. Instead of focusing on voting for somebody because of their tribe, because they paid you 200 shillings, because you are voting for them just so that they can remove somebody else and you hope that they are going to do something better, please, I think it's time that we remove ourselves from the situation. And also to the Kenyan youth, we are the majority. When you look at people who are 35 and under, we are the majority when it comes to the population. By 2027, let's say all of us will be adult status and all of us can get a voter's ID and actually vote. I am really, really, really encouraging people to register to vote when that time comes. Let's not vote for people because of any other reason except those 2. Let's be logical this time, please. Like our lives depend on it.
Kwani wewe utakubali upige kura mtu aibe? Wewe kama Mkenya mwenye unateseka as we speak now, utakubali uende upige kura 2027 alafu mtu achukue aongeze rais? Kwa sababu anatuambia kwamba hakuna rais ashawahi kuwa 1 term president. Sasa wanasema hata kama rais hatapita, watachukua kidogo kidogo kutoka kwa zile zetu waongeze rais apite. Kwani wewe kama Mkenya who are going through a very difficult times as we speak now, are you going to allow people to steal your elections? Kwani tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Tutakuwa wajinga aina gani turuhusu watu waibe kura zetu yenye tumepiga na venye sisi tunateseka saa hii? Atuwaibe waongeze yule mwingine apate aingie kama rais. Kwani sisi tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Si wajinga walisha Kenya. Sasa itakuwa aje mtu atuibie kura zetu?
Wakiiba itaungua. That is the truth of the matter.
No way.
That wakiiba, just like his agents have said that watajaza. The truth of the matter is wametuibia ya kutosha. Wameiba pesa zetu za kutosha, wametuua ya kutosha. If William Ruto survives to the election na ajaribu kuiba, itaungua. And that's the truth of the matter.
2027,
at the tallying center at the ward level, we will have Gen Z representatives to count the votes and to announce the votes. Alafu tutaungana kama Gen Z, kama ni Nairobi County, kuna Gen Z wa kule Githurai, Gen Z wa Kangemi, atatuambia ni ngapi na tutajua ni votes ngapi za rais zimepigwa katika Nairobi County, na tutafanya hivyo katika Kakamega County, tutafanya hivyo katika Bungoma County.
Haja na magavana, MCA, mnataka zile za rais peke yake.
Lazima rais ametuchosha bana, lazima akwende nyumbani.
One time. Sikiza nini? Ground. Hatuongea. Sawa.
Hivi venye nanawa hivi. Ndo nanawa Ruto. Nimenawa Ruto kabisa. Nimenawa Ruto. Ruto Kasongo nimekunawa.
My people, unaingia kuiva alafu unaletewa one time kama chesa. Mulisema hamutaki kuchelewa in anything. Well, Kenyans, you never disappoint, and this is the reason as to why I just love my country, Kenya. Munakuanga macho na munakuanga sete in anything. Anyway, Aluta, the struggle continues. We have to drain the swamps.
Ese yo moyo.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go.
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.